Alrighty. Well, today we're coming to you from underneath the C60, getting this thing serviced. Run, Rich. The wisdom teeth extraction went good, although it didn't go like I was hoping it would. My initial plan was I was just going to get a local anesthetic, because the way the x-rays initially looked, there wasn't going to be any major issues, which turned out there wasn't any major issues anyway. But hold on a second. Anyway, I get there and go through all the consultation spiel and had to watch this video showing all the crap that could go wrong from getting your wisdom teeth out and yada yada yada. It wasn't making me feel a whole lot better about the situation. And then the doctor comes in, he's looking at my x-rays and he goes, "Well, looking at your x-rays here, there's a possibility," which I kind of half-ass expected, but I was hoping I was going to be wrong. Alright, where did I put the damn rag? Left it on the rag. He says, "Well, you got one tooth in the roof, or one wisdom tooth in the roof of your mouth. It's very possibly grown into your sinus cavity." And he says, "If that's the case, we may open up a hole going into your sinus when we take that thing out." I was like, "Well, shit, that's no good." Then he also said it looks like one of your bottom teeth might be wrapped around the nerve cord that goes along the bottom of your jaw. And he says if we touch that thing wrong, there's probably going to be some very severe pain. And he said both them things to me, and my exact words were, "Well, hell, you might as well just knock my ass out." So I ended up getting not the one up from a general anesthetic, or the one next one up from a general anesthetic that actually puts you to sleep, but you're still breathing on your own. So I got that, so I was out for the whole thing. But it went way better than he expected, and from the time they started working on me to the time he got the last tooth out was only actually 30 minutes, so he was really good. And then the anesthetic didn't really hang too long, at least the one that knocked me out. I walked myself out of the office, and in the 10-15 minutes, whatever it took us to go to Walgreens to get my prescriptions filled, I walked in Walgreens and gave him all my insurance information, all that crap on my own, so I wasn't really loopy from the anesthetic like most people get. But anesthetics never really bothered me that much to begin with, so But what took me out yesterday, which I wasn't actually expecting, is after they gave me the general anesthetic to knock me out, they gave me a local anesthetic to numb my jaw and everything. And it didn't wear off for almost 8 hours, so I couldn't use my tongue, couldn't really feel my lip, so I was hoping to be able to come home, take a couple-hour nap, get recovered a little bit, and then go to work. Well, shit, I wasn't even able to eat anything till almost 8 o'clock, so it took that long for me to be able to use my tongue again. So, I couldn't do anything yesterday, not because of pain, but because of lack of food. And even today, I don't have any pain. They gave me, I can't remember the two. They're 2 opioid drugs, 2 different ones for the pain. I haven't taken any of them. I haven't even been taking the full dose of ibuprofen they wanted me to take. They told me to take 600 milligrams, and I've only been taking 400. Because the one I don't even have any holes in the back of my mouth, because the one saving grace was that none of my teeth were actually all the way in yet. They were still covered up by the skin. So, none of them were actually rooted yet, so they were basically just flopping around in there. All they had to do was basically get the skin opened up, and then they basically, for all intents and purposes, fell out. And where was I going with this? So basically all I had to do was fold the skin back over the top of the hole, and you can't even tell there was anything back here other than I got one stitch in where he took each tooth out. So that was nice. Damn it, that's not good. Crap. I hate it. But anyway, so all in all, I'm not really in any pain. My jaw's a little sore, obviously, because that's your body's way of telling you, hey, dumbass, you're not supposed to do that. And yes, I filled that filter up with oil before I spun it on there, so if the motor gets oil like that. And really, the only thing of concern I have is that my lower lip's still a little numb. And the reason that concerns me is the guy said, if they get that nerve wrong that goes underneath your bottom teeth, it could permanently cause your lower lip or your lip to be numb. And if that's the case, I'm gonna be a little ticked. But my lip's also still a little swollen and stuff, so I'm hoping once the swelling goes down, I'm hoping it's just like the nerve is pinched or something from the swelling, and I'm hoping once the swelling goes down that my feeling will come back. Otherwise, this could be freaking weird. I'm sure I sound funny right now because of that. But anyway, that's probably enough about the teeth. Long story short, not doing too bad, all things considered. But I also realized I never really have told anybody about this truck. Bought this thing when I was it's been actually, I've had this thing for a while. I bought it when I was a freshman in college. And I didn't even find it. Dad found it. He was screwing around on Craigslist one night. One thing we figured out is if you want to find good, I just realized you guys probably can't see that great. Hold on a second here. Come on, go down. There we go. One thing we figured out is that if you want, see if I can, that's a bad idea. There you might kind of sort of be able to see a little bit better right there. The only bad thing about using this GoPro as a regular video camera is it doesn't actually have a screen on it, so I know what you guys see and what I'm seeing. So, bear with me on that. But, Dad found this thing, and one thing we figured out is if you want to find a good, fairly rust-free, ready-to-go grain truck, you got to go to Southern Illinois. But Dad found this thing on Craigslist, and I think he was asking, when we found it, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, he was asking $39 for it. And the town it was in was, I'm trying to remember the name, it was 40 miles from the Indiana state line on I-70 on the south side of I-70. I can't remember for the life of me the name of the town, but Dad sent it to, or Dad, if I remember right, he showed it to me one weekend when I was up here, or home from school, and I needed a grain truck, and this thing was, from the pictures, it was clean. And so I called the guy up one weekend, or one Saturday when I was done it. So I left from school and went down and looked at it, and got there, and this old truck is, somebody took care of it. It's only got 40, I think I just rolled it over 48,000 miles. And it's got a brand new hydrovac on it. All the brakes have been done on it, which on these old trucks, that's the worst part, is getting the brakes and everything up to snuff. So, the one thing I didn't do when I was down there, which I probably should have done, but it didn't end up not mattering anyway, because it was fine, but I didn't drive it. I just listened to it run and ran the hoist up and down and everything. Hell, this is literally the first thing like this I'd ever bought, and I was nervous, and I'm not good at dickering, so I basically just went down there, looked at it. It was clean, it's a good truck, clean truck, no rust on the frame, no nothing. And I hem-hauled a little bit, and I asked him if he'd take 35 for it, and he says, well, will you give me 36? So I ended up picking it up for 3,600 bucks. And then we went down. I went and looked at it the weekend before Christmas break, and then Dad came down, or no, it was the weekend, it must have been the weekend before Thanksgiving break. No, it was the weekend before Christmas break. And then, ironically, the funny story of that trip for me was, that's the only time Rusty ever let me down, so I got down there, looked at the truck. You can come with me here. I got down there, looked at the truck, and gave the guy the down payment, shook hands with him, said my goodbyes, and tell him I'd get a hold of him when I figured out when we'd come down to get it. Got about 20 miles away from the guy's house along I-70, and the distributor went out in my pickup truck. So I sat along I-70 for 7 hours. Gotta let that build air up. But I sat along I-70 for 7 hours when my parents came down to get me. But anyway, so the first weekend of Christmas break, Dad brought the 1 ton of gooseneck down, which worked out all right since I didn't have a pickup truck at school anymore anyway, so they hauled it up here to get it fixed. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So we went down, got it home, and basically, other than your general maintenance stuff, haven't done a thing to it. Basically brought it home, changed the oil, changed the rear fluid in the rear end. We did have to put a new shift motor on the rear axle because it went out after the first season, which is no big deal because they're still available and they aren't too god-awful expensive. We rebuilt the hoist cylinders because they were leaking. Put new hydraulic hoses on the wet kit. The tires on it, the story the guy told me, because I actually bought it from the second owner, he said all the first owner ever did with it was when he bought it to haul from the field to the farm. Everything else, when he was hauling it out of the farm to the elevator or wherever, was all done with a semi. And I believe that is a fact because you go down there in Southern Illinois, all the damn roads are crowns. You can tell this truck spent a lot of time riding on the center of a back road because the inside tires were almost bald with cord showing, and the outside tires were, I'd say, 50 to 70% tread, but they were dry rotted. And it had 920s on it. And Dad found them grabber tires on Craigslist for, I can't even remember, they were dirt cheap. They're a little cracked up, but they got plenty of life left in them. And those are 1020s. But that's basically the short story of that grain truck. Good, damn good truck. A little underpowered with that 350, but she gets the job done. And it does. She does use a little bit of oil, but it ain't really no big deal. Probably mostly just because of lack of use. And some of it, like I said in the video, we were doing that field tiling, we kind of want to put a throttle body ignition or throttle body injection kit on this thing. But the other thing I kind of want to do, which I still have to do some more research to figure out how feasible it is, because I don't know I don't know if it's a direct bolt-on deal or not. But the factory diesel option in these trucks was a 453 Detroit. So I think it'd be really cool to get a 453 turbo in here. But I don't know if those will bolt right up to this transmission or not. And then the other downside is, if I had a Detroit in here, I really would want a 5-speed. With Detroits, the more gears, the better. Oop. She's still a little warm, but definitely full of antifreeze. Come on, close up. Alrighty, now I just got to get it greased and fired up. Alrighty, still got two jerks I need to grease, but you got to turn the front wheels to get to them. One thing I love about these old 2-ton trucks, just in general, is they are easy as hell to work on. They're like a tractor. Everything's right there.
a little woohoo.
Yeah,
right
run
there.
for a little bit, make sure that everything gets full of oil, and then recheck it. But these are the manifolds that I was talking about. They're 350 cubes. The ports on them things are just ridiculously tiny. My 66 has got a bigger manifold on it than that. And then the actual exhaust running out, and the mufflers on this thing is all hacked up. And actually, the manifolds on this, some of the dog ears are cracked. So it needs new manifolds to begin with. And the problem with it, or the problem with this thing is, all the headers you find want to dump out right back there where that cross member is, where we need something that's going to go straight down. And Dad thinks he found some at Lane Automotive that will fit. We just got to get up and measure them someday. It's not real high on the priority list. There were guys saying, well, why, is it really worth the money for something that only gets used a couple times a year? Well, the thing is, we use this more than a couple times a year. And we'd use it a whole lot more if it was a little better on fuel, but like I say, it's just sucks it like it's going out of style. And I'm not saying that we're going to get it up to like 15, 20 miles a gallon. That's freaking ridiculous. But even if we can get it up to 7, 8, 9 miles a gallon, it would be a night and day difference. Looks like I need to tighten my power steering belt too. But then one guy got all freaking bent out of shape about how I didn't know what I was talking about, and putting headers on there, all you're gonna do is make more freaking noise and not get any more power, and yada yada yada. It's amazing how many people don't think I know what I'm talking about. If headers weren't helpful, then they wouldn't make them. Then he also went on this big old rant about how manufacturers spend all sorts of time researching exactly how to build their motors and how to get the most performance out of them. Yeah, that's why most of the performance stuff comes from the aftermarket, not manufacturers, is because they're the ones that know their motors the best. I'm not saying they don't know their motors, but the manufacturers are also restricted by whatever the EPA tells them to do. So just because they're the ones that built the motors doesn't mean they can make them run the most efficiently. They got to make them run to meet EPA regulations, which this motor was built right in that time when all the emissions bullshit started coming on. But anyway, let's shut this thing down so I can check the oil in it. Noticed something kind of funny on here that I'd never actually paid attention to before on this dipstick. It's got your typical full mark, and then the bottom mark actually says add 1 quart. I'd never seen that before. It's kind of funny. Normally it just says full add. But now the front's done, I just got to put the tailgate back in it. So we're using this thing to haul scrap a couple weeks ago. Well, then we use it to haul field tile and whatever else we were doing down there at the property. That hauls some stone with it. So whenever we do that, we pull the tailgate out of it just so we don't hurt it. Still trying to figure out where he found that. That's a nice handle. Must have found it down there on the property. Damn it. Okay. I just gotta remember how the heck this Rubik's Cube goes back together. knock that camera off. I don't got it in its case. That'd be bad. Okay, this is this side. Before I shake that thing off, you guys are going over here. And then, oh yeah, I don't even actually need to use that. When I first got this thing, it had 1 foot extension boards on it. So the thing would actually haul. I think the first load of hauling it was 350 bushels of beans. Which down there in southern Illinois where it's flat as a pancake it'd probably work, but up here in these hills, she didn't like that so much, so I took the extensions off. Now it hauls about 300-ish. 290 is a good load on it. I've had 307 without the extensions, and that's a little bit of a tight fit. But I wasn't going to make a second trip for 20 bushel, or not, yeah, about 20 bushel of corn, whatever it was, in the 7300. I actually got pictures of that load. That was the first time Cody ever came up from college to help me run. We were laughing our asses off looking at this corn truck loaded with 307 bushel. Rock stitches. Come on, get in there, you prick. Whoever built this box was thinking, because it is about the easiest thing to take on and off ever. You don't even really need any tools other than for, well, you do need a 3/4 inch ratchet or something to ratchet it, but that's about it. One thing I figured out I gotta do is zip strip or put a zip tie on these latches, otherwise bouncing around down the road they'll come undone, and you don't want none of that because that's a good way to spill a bunch of corn. Alright, well that's one piece of equipment ready to roll, but the only thing I still need to do is wash the windows in it, but it's just going to go back and sit in the barn for now. So it's kind of pointless to do that because it's just going to get dusty again. But as far as the general service, it's ready to go. Dad had to run out to Morley's real quick. When he gets back, we're going to hopefully go over and get the combines dug out of the barn. Get it rearranged so they're over in the long bay between the two doors. And hopefully at least get the 7300 over here tonight. I doubt I'll do any work to it. We'll just have to see. Except rain this we did have a saving grace. We got two, depending on where you're at, up to 2.5 inches of rain over last night and this morning. Downside to that is it's muggy as hell right now, so it doesn't make it too nice to work outside. But we needed the rain, so I'll take it. So anyway, I'm going to make that a separate video though, because this one's probably already going to be pushing the 20-minute mark. It's pretty hard, so. Anywho, I guess that does it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.